Dimmi se non c'era. Sono passata gli occhi, mi ha detto quanto mi devi.
Today on a very special How to Do It All, we're gonna build a PC. What could possibly go wrong? Hey, but first take a moment and subscribe to our channel for more how-to videos. We love making these videos for you guys, but we love it even more when you can subscribe. So this, boy, this is a topic we wanted to do for a while. And it turns out we have a friend who does video editing and motion graphics, and she needed a new workstation PC. And we decided to take our build and turn it into a how-to video. However, it does turn out that when you make how to build a PC video on the internet, they will destroy you. They will just drag you through the streets like a crazy thing, and it just hurts. Oliver, you ready? So I decided to bring in my friend Oliver and have him do the PC build for us.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how's it going, Oliver?
I'm good.
So tell everyone what they can expect.
I'm just building a basic PC. It's very simple, straightforward stuff.
Great, and if anyone on the internet has either rational or irrational problems with your build, they should blame you, right?
What?
Great, let's build that PC.
The parts you'll need to make a computer are a case, a motherboard, a CPU cooler if one is not included with your CPU, or if you want a better one, a graphics card if your CPU does not have integrated graphics, or if you are doing some kind of gaming. You'll also need some RAM, a hard drive for storage, and a power supply. Of course, there are other components that you can get, but this will get you going. Now, Corsair was very generous and sent over some really cool, over-the-top RGB components, so thank you to them. So before we start building, let's talk about what kind of tools we need. At the most basic level, you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, preferably one with the magnetic tip. Now, if your component requires a special tool, manufacturers usually include it in the box with the component. Now, other tools you'll need is a USB flash drive with Windows 10 installer on it. I've placed a link to Microsoft's Windows Media Creation tool in the description below. Now, there are a few other optional tools that you might want to consider. I recommend an anti-static wrist strap if you're working on carpet. Electrostatic discharge can damage sensitive components, so you want to make sure you aren't charged up before you start handling them. A good way to discharge yourself if you don't have an anti-static wrist strap is by occasionally touching the metal parts of your case. Another thing is Velcro straps, zip ties. These both can help with cable management. You can also buy your own thermal compound or thermal pads. Most CPU coolers do come with thermal compound pre-applied. And the last nice to have but not must have tool is organization. There are a lot of screws coming from various components to keep track of, so getting a tray can be very helpful. Let's start by clearing our table and turning our attention to the motherboard. Since every motherboard is different, I'm going to be keeping it very general. But if you're looking for specific information, consult your motherboard's user manual. There you'll find the layout with everything labeled. The first thing we're going to do is install the CPU. Now the next bit is very specific to the STRX4 socket. Threadripper uses 3 screws to lock in the CPU. First, unscrew the load plate in order from 3 to 1. Lift up and remove the protective plastic cover. Slide in the CPU, making sure that the triangle markings line up. And slide that guy in. And you're going to make sure that it's seated all the way down. And then you're going to come close it down onto the socket. Hear a little click like that. Make sure that it's seated properly. Now we're going to put the load plate on it. Right over top. So everything should fit nice and easy, and you should not be forcing anything down. Be careful as the pins in the socket can be easily damaged. Now for the Threadripper, to tighten this load plate down, we're going to go from 1, 2, to 3. Now the processor comes with a tool that will click when you've applied enough tension. So let's start with 1. Very scary, don't worry. The tool will let you know when you've got.
E Pietro, anche non è un fuori strada. Ecco te, deve le pure per dire, tutto bene? Tutto a posto? Poi via bene però. Quanto hai? Ma già un anno. Ciao! Ah, beh, finché non trovo il suo equilibrio, sì, Te com'era? Che te com'era? Io. Lo farai subito.
Gone enough.
Via Ruben.
Oh.
Anche perché così crescono.
The tool won't let me turn anymore. So that's enough tension
Dai.
on the
Lo
processor.
stai a po'.
I'm going to do that again for 2 and 3 now.
No, ma avere quelli no.
Click.
Avere quelli lì no.
And there you go.
Non
Let's
ti
install
passa
the
più.
memory for RAM. On this board, we have 8 DIMM slots available. For now, we're only using 4 DIMMs of memory. Your motherboard manual will give you recommendations on where to place the DIMMs depending on how many DIMM slots you're actually using.
So
before you put the RAM in, make sure you unlock the DIMM slots. We're using 4 of them. So we've unlocked 4 of the DIMM slots. Line up the DIMMs with the notch and then gently push down onto the slot. You should hear a click when it's seated
Sono
properly.
ancora qui a contarla, su dai, chiamola così. Ria. Ria Pancrazio. È Pierlu.
There you have it. Next up, we'll install our NVMe drives. In our builds, we actually have 2 that we're installing. First, remove the heatsink and then insert the NVMe drive into the M.2 slot.
Sta a posto? Rientrato.
Screw it down.
Ciao.
Then, on the back side of the heatsink, you'll find 2 thermal pads. Peel off the plastic and then reattach the heatsink
Poi
to
che
the
racconto su
motherboard.
Coppiero io, cazzo.
Let's put this in our case.
Cacazzo.
First, remove both side panels
Cacazzo.
of the case. Then, lay the case down. Place the motherboard so that the rear I/O panel fits.
Buona lo stesso. Materiale
Then,
piccolo.
secure the motherboard to the case by screwing in these screws to the board.
Mettiamo adesso un po' di aiba.
Next, we'll install the power supply. The orientation of the power supply usually depends on your case. It's a good rule of thumb to point the power supply fan out
Mi vado
toward
a
a vent.
lavare.
screw in the power supply to the back of the case with the carrot. So depending on your motherboard and your components, your power needs may vary. So for that reason, I won't go into detail about power connections. But I will say that all the power connectors are designed to fit in only one way. So don't force any connectors if they aren't easily going in. Now we are ready to install the CPU cooler. Our cooler comes with thermal paste pre-applied, so we won't be adding any to our CPU. Don't forget to check your CPU's cooler's instructions on how to attach it to the CPU. Since our cooler is an all-in-one liquid cooler, we have to attach the radiator to the case. You will more than likely have to connect your CPU cooler fan, or in our case a pump, to the CPU fan header on the motherboard. Also, don't forget to connect your cooler to the power supply if it needs to. Again, check your user manual. Next, I'm going to install any additional storage, like an SSD. You will have different drive caddies for your storage. So check your case manual for more details. Don't forget to connect your storage to the appropriate power connector, and also connect your storage to your motherboard using a SATA connector. Depending on your case's front I/O, right here, you might have a few things to connect. This could include front panel audio, USB, and of course the power and reset button. Then connect the case fans to the appropriate fan headers, along with any RGB if necessary. And finally, we will install our graphics card. First, remove the rear PCIe slot covers. Then make sure the PCIe expansion slot is unlocked. On the card, make sure it is free of any plastic or covers. Insert the card in the topmost PCIe slot. You should hear a click. Then connect the power connectors for your graphics card.
Buonasera caro, volevo chiederti un favore. Mi si è bruciato questo qua dei cosi.
Once all the components are in the case, connect the monitor, keyboard, mouse, and the USB stick with Windows 10 installer on it. Lastly, plug in the power supply and turn on your machine. Some motherboards will beep, others might power on and off as they boot up for the first time. Press the appropriate key to enter the BIOS. On this specific motherboard, it's the delete key. The BIOS will look different depending on your manufacturer. In the BIOS, search for the boot menu. Select the flash drive and press enter. Your computer will boot from the flash drive and you should see the Windows 10 installer. Follow the instructions on the screen to install Windows. After Windows is done installing, take out the flash drive and your machine should boot into Windows. And there you have it, you've built a PC. If you want to see us test the Threadripper 3960X, click here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.
The Windows 10 October 2020 update is finally here. We've got everything you need to know about the latest version of the operating system and how it'll help you get things done. You'll find a few big new features and lots of smaller refinements that'll make using your Windows computer a little easier. Let's dig into the update to find out what's new. The first thing you might want to know is how you actually download the October 2020 update. Microsoft will be rolling the update out slowly to devices over the next few weeks, so it may not be available for you just yet. To check, go to Settings, Update and Security, Windows Update, and click Check for Updates. If available, you'll see Feature Update to Windows 10 version 20H2. Click Download and Install. Another note, you do have to be running Windows 10 version 1903 or later if you want to get this update. If you downloaded the May 2020 update a few months ago, then this one should only take a few minutes to do. But if you didn't, it might take a little bit longer. Once the update is complete, you can start exploring. The biggest change you'll find off the bat is the addition of the new Chromium-based Microsoft Edge browser. The new Edge browser includes a privacy feature that can help block sites that track you online. It also has a feature called Collections that lets you more easily gather information from different websites as you're doing research. Another big change comes to the Start menu, which gets a more streamlined design. Instead of the traditional solid color backplates behind the logos in your app list, you'll see partially transparent backgrounds so the icons stand out more. You can also set an accent color if you like. You'll also find some new tab controls. In Edge, you can open all tabs by pressing Alt plus Tab, instead of just the active one in each browser window. You can also configure it to show only your last 3 or 5 tabs, or turn it off completely. Just go to Settings, System, Multitasking. And if you use a 2-in-1 Windows device, instead of getting an annoying notification asking if you want to switch to tablet mode every single time you detach your keyboard, this will now happen by default. Of course, if none of this impresses you, you don't have to download the Windows 10 October 2020 update. Your computer will keep working the way it has been, but Microsoft does recommend that you do so to keep updated on the latest features and security protections, especially if you're running a version of Windows 10 that's about to reach end of support. The best way to find out what version of Windows 10 you're using is by going to Settings, System, About, and scrolling to Windows Specifications. There you'll find the edition and version number. If you have version 1903, which was released in May 2019, and you want to keep it, you have until December before support ends. Bottom line, it's usually best to update. So there you have it, all of the best features of the new Windows 10 October 2020 update. If you're looking for more Microsoft and Windows 10 news and features, check out cnet.com. We're constantly reviewing and testing out these operating systems and reporting what we find back to you. And I'd love to hear what you're impressed by in this update, maybe what you're not so excited about. Leave me a note in the comments below.
Is your PC running sluggish, or did you download something funny on there and that won't even boot up? Well, I'm going to show you how to reset and refresh your PC so it's like new again. This is how to do it all. So for whatever reason, your PC will start to run more slowly over time. Countless updates and apps that run in the background that you might not even know about slow down your PC's performance to the point where it could drive you nuts. Well, Windows 10 does give you some options for resetting your PC back to its old glory days, but it does come at a cost to your time and your patience.
Ok, grazie, buon tempone, si sente il vento del mare.
Menu icon. Then click on Settings.
Poi siamo noi,
Find
capito?
Update and Security at the
Lui
bottom
riesce
of
a
the
allarsi.
window and open it. Select Recovery
Accendiamo il
on the
clima
left.
dopo, Andrea.
Click on the Get Started button
Accendo
under
subito.
Reset this PC.
Finisco
You are
di
now
dare
asked to
quello,
choose an
accendi.
option. You can either choose to keep my files, which will remove all your apps and settings, but will keep all of your saved files, or you can choose to remove everything, which will erase all your personal files, apps, and settings. If you need help deciding which one to choose, you can click on Help Me Choose at the bottom of the window, which will take you to a Microsoft webpage with more detailed information about what to do if you're having problems with your PC. So I want to keep all my personal files on this PC, so I'm going to choose Keep My Files. Now before you start this process, make sure your computer is plugged into power. Now you are asked, how would you like to reinstall Windows? You can choose Cloud Download, which will install Windows from the cloud, or you can choose Local Reinstall, which will reinstall Windows from an image of Windows on your PC. The Local Reinstall is the faster option of the two. So I'm going to choose Local Reinstall because it's a little bit faster. Now an additional settings window pops up and shows you what you have chosen to do and gives you the option to change settings if needed. If all looks okay, click Next. Your PC will now say ready to reset this PC and lists all the things that will happen to your PC during the reset. You can also view all the apps that will be removed in case you want to change your mind or write them down to re-download them later. Click Next and your PC will begin to reset itself. Now this could take many hours, so sit back, relax, maybe go take a walk, come back later. It's going to be a while.
Once your PC has been reset, you will see the start screen and you'll need to enter your PIN. All of your personal files will be there waiting for you. You just need to re-download all those apps to open those files and you'll be golden in no time. Now, if you choose to not keep your personal files and you want to erase everything on your PC like it's brand new again, after you choose the local install or cloud install, and you arrive at the additional settings screen, click on the Change Settings button and slide the switch under Clean Data and press Confirm. This will make Windows 10 clean your hard drive after deleting all your files so no one can recover them in the future. This is permanent. I can't stress that enough. This is permanent. You're not going to and it takes much longer to complete the reset. Click Next and then Reset, and then sit back and wait.
E dopo vitello tonnato mi sembra. Era vitello tonnato.
Your PC will be like new, and Cortana will start asking you
Era vitello tonnato l'altro, perché con le patate. Come tutte le patate ti sono.
Now, if your computer is in really bad shape, and you can't
Erano
get
dure
the
le
settings
patate.
because it won't even boot up,
Ma non era quello al
there's
forno?
still a way to reset it. Here's how.
Condite.
After your computer fails 3
Ce l'ho lì.
times to boot up, you will then see a screen that says Recovery. Select See Advanced Repair Options, then select Troubleshoot. You are then given the option to reset this PC, and you can go through all the steps you've already laid out. If you choose Advanced Options, there are other methods of recovering your computer.
Poi
Restoring to a previous restore point, uninstalling recent apps that were installed, system image recovery, so you don't necessarily have to reset your computer. Now this video is about resetting your PC, so I'm not going to get into those other recovery methods, but I recommend making a restore point or a system image for safekeeping. If you found this video helpful, leave us a like, ring that bell for more videos on how to do it all. And if you have any tips or tricks for resetting your PC, please leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Today I'm going to show you how to upgrade your Windows 7 computer to Windows 10 for free. I know. Hey, but first take a moment and subscribe to our how-to channel. Each week we have a video over a range of topics, including phones, software, computers, and now smart home products. I know, we're getting pretty fancy pants here. Okay, look, so you may have heard that Microsoft has officially ended support for Windows 7. This means they want you to upgrade to Windows 10. It'll make your computer more secure and safer and even maybe faster to use. If you have an older PC or laptop running Windows 7, you really have two options. The first is you can go to Microsoft's website and buy Windows 10 Home Edition for $139. The second option is you can do what we did and get a free upgrade offer from Microsoft. Now, technically the offer we used expired in 2016, but we were able to use it now at the time of this video, which is 2020. I don't know what happened, but it worked. So here's what I want to do. The first is I want to walk you through an overview of the process. The second, I'll take you step by step how to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And last, I'm going to share with you some frustrating moments that we had and how you can overcome them. So here's the overview. You're running a PC with Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Home or Pro Edition that is licensed and activated. Next, you're going to go to Microsoft's website and download the Windows 10 installation tool. Then you're going to let it upgrade, and bam, you're done. If only it was that simple. It took us like 4 days, 4 hours, and 22 minutes, give or take. So here's how to install Windows 10 for free, step by step. Now, before you do a single thing, you have to have space to install it. So you need anywhere from 20 to 40 gigabytes of hard drive space. Now, the reason there's a range depends really on what edition of Windows you have on your computer. By the way, we had some trouble finding hard drive space on our Windows 7 machine. Look, we're going to explain how we overcame that and how we're able to free up over 200 gigabytes of space, but seriously. So, let's jump in. Start out by going to the Download Windows 10 website. Don't worry about looking for the link. We got the link in the description. You're welcome. Next, click the blue Download Tool Now button, then click Run. You'll see the Getting a Few Things Ready window appear. Read the applicable notices and license terms, then hit Agree. After which, the What Do You Want to Do window will appear. I chose the Upgrade This PC Now button, but if you want, you could actually install Windows 10 on a thumb drive and use that as an installation disk. Once you choose, press the next button. Our download took about 6 minutes, which is just enough time to listen to the 1988 song Teenage Riot by the band Sonic Youth. The nearly 7-minute song off the double LP Daydream Nation is, according to the site Diffuser, an anti-anthem against baby boomer nostalgia and 80s Reaganized America. What? It's almost done? Great. The next step is the verifying your download window, which is followed by the creating your Windows 10 media window. You'll get a message stating that the setup is cleaning up before it closes. Next, you'll see a preparing progress window, after which you'll see the getting updates window pop right back up. When the upgrade is complete, a Windows setup window might prompt you to enter your Windows product key. However, it might not as well. And this is where we ran into some snags, but I'll explain how we overcame them in just a moment. After the key is entered, the setup tool will check for updates, and then a ready to install window will appear, showing that you're installing Windows 10 and keeping your personal files and apps. When you're ready, press the install button. You'll see the infamous blue screen installing Windows 10, after which your computer will restart and install updates. The process took us about an hour, which is just enough time to watch an episode of the late 80s, early 90s sci-fi dramedy Quantum Leap, starring Scott Bakula as Dr. Sam Beckett, who temporarily leaps through time, taking other people's places to correct historical mistakes. What? It's done? So here are the problems we ran into. And the first was, actually before we did anything, our Windows 7 computer had no space on the hard drive. This was odd since there wasn't a single video, photo, or song on our hard drive, and we couldn't figure out what was taking up space. So here's what we did. Ran cleanup disk, uninstalled programs, ran a scan disk check, started deleting files in the Windows folder, but ultimately what worked was finding a folder named temp and deleting it. I don't know what was inside that folder, but when we removed it, it opened up over 200 plus gigabytes. We'll never know what was in there. The next problem we ran into was the product key. On our Windows 7 computer, even though we had a license, it was never officially activated. All right, so we had to go into the control panel, system and security, and finally the system folder, and use the product key found on a sticker that was on the back of the computer. We changed the product key, which activated our copy of Windows 7, and after restart, we were able to use the same activated product key in the Windows 10 prompt. Now that we are officially upgraded, we have Windows 10 running on our 11-year-old Dell computer. Ooh, sorry, you're really old. Still running? You know, actually, one thing that doesn't work with Windows 10, Windows 10 does not support serialized ports, so no more serialized keyboard and serialized mouse. Goodbye. So that's our video. If you have any questions about installing Windows 10 on your computer, please throw those in the comments. Also, if you've been through the process of upgrading from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and you have any tips or tricks, throw those in the comments as well. And if you like our video, give us a thumbs up, and if you don't, keep your damn mouth shut. Right.
Che proprio?
The keyboard or
Lui?
just kind of
Cervicale anche.
Perché?
put the
Per
menu
me è anche il caldo e mi parte da qua, mi prende qua.
menu.
Capitano.
Menu.
Now, last year, Microsoft wowed everyone with its dual-screen devices. There's the Surface Duo, an Android-powered device, and there's the Surface Neo. This device was built around a new version of Windows called Windows 10X. This version of Windows was built for dual-screen PCs, except Windows 10X might show up for single-screen devices first. To make a lot more sense of things, we're bringing in Mary Jo Foley of ZDNet. She's been covering tech for 30 years and has reported tons of scoops on Microsoft. Mary Jo, can you walk us through what Windows 10X was supposed to accomplish? What I would like to know is what makes it different from 10.
Yeah, so, 10X is, Microsoft calls it a mode, I think, of Windows 10 or a variant of Windows 10, but it's really not like Windows 10 from the ground up. It's very different, even though it has the Windows 10 in the name. It's the product that we wrote about a lot when it was codenamed Santorini and sometimes also called Windows Lite. So it shots of it. Like if you've ever used the Microsoft Launcher on your Android phone, that's what it looks like. It has all the apps arranged in a grid like that, with the most recently accessed documents that you have right under it, with the Windows search bar at the very top. We think that's what the UI is going to look like on 10X.
In Microsoft's announcement of Windows 10X, Microsoft said, quote, Windows 10X is designed for new dual-screen PCs and not as an OS upgrade if you already own a PC. Yes, the company is going ahead with introducing 10X this year for single-screen devices. This is according to your own reports. Why is this happening?
I don't want to say they lied about Windows 10X. But maybe I will say it. They lied. They said it was designed for two dual-screen devices, but we knew from people we have been talking to that it wasn't actually designed exclusively for dual-screen devices. New models of single-screen devices like 2-in-1s and clamshells. But they never would say that until very recently, when they changed their plan and decided to come out with it on single-scrreen devices first and dual screens later.
Apart from a visual difference, 10, since it can run on single-screen devices.
There's a lot